Hello, I am Nathan Martin with the Divine Pollination Hive and the UnityProcess.com. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing how Disney, Rian Johnson, and the entertainment industry have made us believe or have been trying to cultivate Star Wars The Last Jedi as a good movie through shaping our tastes, shaping what we like. And it's another proof by assertion fallacy where the emperor has no clothes, but they keep telling us again and again in a unified voice, the Emperor is wearing clothes. Star Wars: The Last Jedi is a brilliant movie, and it's a bold new direction. But this is just the proof by assertion fallacy being repeated again and again and again, and they are trying to actually shape our tastes rather than meet our expectations. If this is something that interests you, stay tuned. Star Wars: The Last Jedi uh, was not a good movie. Objectively, it had very poor writing. It did not stay true to the Star Wars narrative. And but on the other side, we have this, all the critics are telling it's an excellent movie. The fans hate it. The critics love it. Why would they be saying it's such a great movie when, in fact, most of the fans can't stand it and it's not staying true to George Lucas's vision? It's breaking the rules of the Star Wars universe. It's not staying true to the already pre-established characters. What's going on here? Well, in the music industry, they don't necessarily uh, we don't listen to hits. They create hits. They create hits by replaying it enough times on the radio, by making sure that enough radio stations all over the world and all over the country are paid off to, like bribed basically, to play certain songs a certain amount of times so that it becomes an earworm, so that it wears a groove in your mind, so to speak, in your brain. So then all of a sudden you now desire to listen to it because it became good through repetition. And really what they're using is they're using the proof by assertion fallacy from a musical perspective. They're shaping what we like rather than meeting the expectations of what we like. So it's not like a brilliant song comes out and we all love it. What happens is they literally just tell us what a brilliant song is going to be by forcing it down our throats again and again and again. And this is the same thing that's happening with the new Disney trilogy when it comes to the Star Wars universe. They have used the proof by assertion fallacy to wear a pattern in our mind so that we can be told what a good movie is. And they're going to keep repeating it, and they're going to keep telling us this is what's going on from a centralized fashion. The emperor is wearing clothes. So you try to get a whole bunch of people into agreement on anything, and it's not really going to work in a decentralized fashion. People are going to have different tastes, different opinions, different ideas, that kind of thing. And it's, getting a unified uh, opinion on something is very difficult. So what they're rather doing is they're going to, in a centralized fashion, the entertainment industry has been centralized, Disney has been centralized, Rian Johnson is centralized, and they're all saying the same thing again and again and again. And they're going to keep repeating it until we finally believe that the Emperor is actually wearing clothes. Star Wars: The Last Jedi is a brilliant movie. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. Why would they want to do that? And it's not just about money. It's actually about shaping our beliefs. They want to tell us what to believe. See, within the original Star Wars was the hero's journey, the mythic hero's journey. It's the monomyth. And it was something that was based on Joseph Campbell, the hero with a thousand faces. And it's also based on Carl Jung's work on archetypes. And there's these stages of development that people go through when they are actually developing as a human being and developing their character. And this is how you actually grow as a person and grow as an individual. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to make a universally good thing. They're trying to make it universally good. And when you have to make it universally good, you have to generalize. You have to destroy distinctions. You have to destroy these steps, and you have to make it all kind of bleed into one thing. And it's a centralized one. This is You can have a unity where it's more about developing your individuality, or you can have a unity where you're just one thing. You have one belief, like the fascists or the socialists, and it's just this one belief, and everybody has to toe the party line, otherwise they get in trouble. Well, what they're doing with Star Wars is they're just telling us what is good. And they're going to continue to repeat that the emperor is wearing clothes when in fact he's not. So let me read the proof by assertion fallacy to you really quick. The proof by assertion fallacy, sometimes informally referred to as the proof by repeated assertion, is an informal fallacy in which a proposition is repeatedly restated regardless of contradiction. Sometimes this may be repeated until challenges dry up, at which point it is asserted as fact due to its not being contradicted. In other cases, its repetition may be cited as evidence of its truth, in a variant of the appeal to authority or appeal to belief fallacies. This fallacy is sometimes used as a form of rhetoric by politicians, or during a debate as a filibuster. In its extreme form, it can also be a form of brainwashing. Modern politics contains many examples of proof by assertion. This practice can be observed in the use of political slogans and the distribution of talking points, which are collections of short phrases that are issued to members of modern political parties for recitation to achieve maximum message repetition. Hope and change is an example, or make America great again. You just keep repeating it again and again and again until it becomes true. The technique is also sometimes used in advertising. So what we have is they're using the proof by assertion fallacy to cultivate our taste and to tell us what is good, and to really to start reshaping our beliefs, because they want to remove the monomyth from the Star Wars, because that actually helps develop our individuality. And what they want is they want us to become a collective one, a united collective. And if we become a united collective, it's only because they have shaped us and told us what to believe so that we become more predictable. Then they have algorithms and stuff like that that they can predict. You know, if they insert this belief or they insert that belief into society, how is it going to move, and how's it going to shift the herd from this direction to that direction, much like a sheepdog would shift the herd. You know, the dog wants to move the herd left, or the dog wants to move the herd right. This is what they're doing when it comes to the entertainment industry. They're moving the herd in various directions. And so the destruction of the Star Wars universe is very much planned, and it's not destroying it to do away with it. They're going to keep it going. They're not going to stop. But this is a transition point that we're in, where they're going to now take it in a new direction. They want to steer the herd away from individuality and a lot more towards collectivism. They don't want individuals, you know, people becoming unique individuals. And that's really what Star Wars was all about. It was about family. It was about Western values. It was about this monomyth. It was about cultivating individuality. It was about standing up to authority. And these are all things that they don't necessarily want to do unless they're going to control the opposition. So there is a place for standing up to the authority, as long as the authority, those who are standing up to the authority are also a collective group and not unique individuals. So yeah, that is my opinion, that that's actually what's happening, and that this is a transitionary time. And so there is going to be kickback. There is going to be pushback against them trying to do this. Because there's still a lot of people out there who are individualists. That's not that they're just purists. Yes, it is about purity, but it's about keeping true to the original intent and the original heart of Star Wars. So it's basically like making a costume of something but gutting it. You have the same robot, or you have the same character, but whatever the programming inside of it, the guts inside of it is completely different. The character is different. So all of this happened actually back in ancient Egypt, when all the gods, the Egyptian gods, were not actually gods, but archetypes. They were different aspects of the human psyche. But what happened is the names of these archetypes were then transformed into gods that were worshipped. And Star Wars is having the exact same thing happen to it. They're removing the heart and soul from the characters, and they're infusing a new character into them, but while keeping the same names. And this will allow them to shift the narrative in whatever direction they want to go, and take Star Wars and make it a tool for propaganda, and to make it a tool for shaping the beliefs of the new generation. Our generation, the ones who are standing up for the purity of Star Wars, we don't want this to happen, obviously. But you know, this is their desire, and this is what they want to do with it. I'm not okay with that, and I've set a boundary in myself that I'm not going to watch any of the collectivist BS that they put out, and I'm not going to give money to that. That's just my opinion. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to give time, energy, money, etc. to something I don't like. What I am going to give attention to is the stuff that is still pure. such as the initial extended universe and the legends stuff that they have still about Luke Skywalker and those things. Plus, also things that like Dave Filoni puts out. You know, when he did the Clone Wars and also he did the Rebels, he stayed true to the heart and soul of George Lucas. So there are still things that are redeemable about Star Wars, and I will continue to put my energy and my viewership and my enjoyment, entertainment into the areas that I am okay with, and I will retract my energy from those things that I'm not okay with. I'm not okay with what they did to the new Luke Skywalker. That's not Luke. I'm not okay with how they're taking Star Wars and turning it into a tool for propaganda and shaping our beliefs with it. Rather than inspiring us, they are attempting to shape our beliefs, and they are not allowing, and they're shaming and they're attacking any contrary viewpoints that says this is not a good movie. That's because, again, it's a proof by assertion fallacy. One more thing I would like to add is what they're trying to do is create a bandwagon effect where enough people finally start seeing that the emperor's wearing clothes when he's not in fact wearing clothes, so that more and more people will jump on this bandwagon and they will get behind the new direction of Star Wars. So the sheepdog is doing its job, getting people onto the bandwagon and moving them in the direction that they want them to go. I'm not going that direction. Star Wars is more than happy to go that direction if that's where they want to go. Disney can take it that way. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to be a part of the collectivist ideology that is being thrust down our throats.
If you enjoyed this video, please click like.
If you'd like to stay up to date with our videos, please subscribe.
If you would like to be notified via email whenever we release a video, please click the bell next to subscribe.
If you have any comments or questions and would like to dialogue about this topic, please leave them below.
If you're interested in becoming a patron and having special access to our community, please visit our Patreon page linked below.
We're Nathan and Aline from the Divine Pollination Hive and the UnityProcess.com.
Be safe.
Be sovereign.
Be well.